Welcome to the Angus Report, a news program for cattle producers.
From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including earning premiums for top-tier calves.
We discuss what it takes to sustain the ranching way of life,
how different sectors of the business can work together to meet customer needs, and why young Angus leaders choose to serve as spokespeople for the industry.
This is the Angus Report. Hello, I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. Angus cattle producers appreciate earning premiums for their cattle, and there are steps they can take to ensure those premiums are gained. Paul Dykstra, a beef cattle specialist with Certified Angus Beef, explains the factors that go into the final price of cattle at the processing plant, including premiums to target and discounts to avoid.
Our entire reward system that the packer sets out for us in terms of premiums and discounts is centered around eating satisfaction and yield. And as a result, value is associated with more marbling and the higher quality grades and branded beef programs like CAB. But most importantly is to avoid the big discounts, because in our beef grid pricing systems, the out cattle, for instance, the heavyweight carcasses, the standard or no roll carcasses, the dark cutters, and a few other areas they are discounted much more than what our incentives are on the grid. So we need to be certain that we have none of those major problems in our pen of cattle, because they can rapidly outweigh the premiums that we might have received on the better cattle within the pen. So knowing what we don't have is just as important as knowing what we do have.
The challenge presented by an increasing world population and increasing global demand for beef raises the question of the beef industry's ability to meet demand sustainably. Sarah Place from Oklahoma State University says the average age of beef producers, barriers to young producers entering the beef industry, public perceptions of intensive management systems, and public misinformation all affect the beef industry's ability to be sustainable.
What I always define it as, it's producing safe, nutritious beef for human consumption, but doing it with long-term business viability, stewardship of natural resources, and responsibility to community, family, and animals. A lot of this discussion and interest really started with the environmental issues, but it has since moved on, and we're realizing that we need to encompass those other issues as well. First off, if we're going to think about long-term business viability, all those things that producers have been doing to make sure that they're going to be successful in business, those are things, and they're going to be able to pass that business on to their next generation. Those fall under sustainability. It's maybe just calling them different things or realizing that it is about sustainability when producers are doing that. Thinking about greenhouse gas emissions, or just water use, or just the number of animals that are required to produce beef, all those things that play into efficiency, the U.S. beef industry has made tremendous gains in reducing its environmental impact.
Brandon Neely from Southside, Alabama was named the 2015 World Champion during the Livestock Marketing Association's World Livestock Auctioneer Championship this summer in Clifton, Texas. Neely recently visited association headquarters to discuss his role with LMA in the upcoming year as LMA's 52nd World Champion.
During my travels, I will be visiting sale barns throughout the Northeast, Southwest, East, different regions of the United States, and representing our industry and what we do and the way we promote selling livestock. And the auctioneering aspect of it, it's really great. People are getting high dollar for their cattle right now, and the market is really playing a vital role in the prices we're getting for our livestock. Every time I say sold on a set of cattle, I feel like I've gained maximum dollar for every producer that has a hoof of livestock in front of me, and I've basically made their livelihood for that year. I've allowed them to provide for their families by my word of saying sold, meaning that I've gained true market value and the highest dollar for their product to represent them and their livelihood. If you have 2 cattle, or if you have 200 cattle on that sale, they have buyers that's ready to buy them, and they will give you the highest value for your livestock when they walk into the ring. And
visit lmaweb.com to learn more and follow along with Neely on Twitter at WLA Champion. The Cattle Transportation Symposium, hosted by NCBA, brought key parties involved in cattle transportation to Fort Collins to discuss ways to improve how animals are moved. When cow-calf operators prepare to load an animal for transport, a Colorado State University professor offers some tips they should keep in mind to get the most value from their animals.
Producers really need to be aware of the stresses associated with shipping cattle off of a ranch. So limiting stress is one of the things we try to emphasize, and I think there's two reasons. One is consumers are concerned about animals and stress, so what can we do as an industry to reduce that stress and satisfy those consumers' demands? And the other one is it's more of a financial thing. How do you limit animals that get injured on a truck or shrink, lose weight, shipping in appropriate weather conditions, avoiding hot days, humidity? That's another way to kind of reduce stress in terms of hauling cattle. And then also loading and unloading cattle. There's some evidence, that actually giving cattle a time to unload and rest and then get back on the trailer may be more stressful than keeping them on the truck and making the trip in one trip.
A recent White House move has shifted about 1 million acres into federal jurisdiction. That's according to the Public Lands Council, which reports President Obama has designated 3 more national monuments under the Antiquities Act. The areas in California, Texas, and Nevada together add more than 1 million acres to federal jurisdiction. With these designations, Obama will have used the Antiquities Act to establish or expand 19 national monuments, putting more than 260 million total acres of land and water under restrictive management during his tenure. We go now to Jenna McCrell for news you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Crystal. Now's the time to make plans for the North American International Livestock Exposition held later this fall in Louisville, Kentucky. Angus events take place November 13th through the 16th, including the Junior and Rolla Victory shows. September 15th is the ownership and entry deadline for the Junior Heifer Show, and all other entries must be completed by October 1st. The American Angus Association's room block at the Headquarter Hotel, the Crown Plaza, is accepting reservations, and you can find contact information as well as additional planning resources online at angus.org. The Angus breed is built on generations of individuals and families who are committed to producing top-quality beef cattle genetics. Each year, the American Angus Association presents Century Awards to recognize Angus farms and ranches that have been in continuous production of registered Angus cattle for at least 100 years. If you or your family fall into this category, you can visit angus.org to apply before the September 1st deadline. Award recipients will be recognized during the association's annual awards breakfast, which is held during the National Angus Convention and Trade Show, November 3rd through the 5th in Overland Park, Kansas. And the 3-day Angus Means Business National Convention and Trade Show will feature thought leaders from across the industry, including representatives from the seed stock, commercial, and feeding sectors. You can attend educational seminars, conduct association business, listen to top-notch speakers, and make connections at the conference. Event highlights also include a pre-convention cattle tour hosted by the Kansas Angus Association on November 2nd, and the International Angus Genomics Symposium on November 3rd. Visit angusconvention.com to see a complete schedule or to get registered and reserve your hotel rooms today. And that's what you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Jenna. When the Angus Report returns, how all segments of the beef industry can work together to meet their customers' needs.
And then later, young people who dedicate their time to serving as spokespeople for the breed.
Visit angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. Why not prevent respiratory disease before it steals from your bottom line? Vista Once protects your calves with the most complete respiratory disease coverage available. And Vision Blackleg vaccines can add 14 pounds per calf at weaning. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
Some call it a come from behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune. The feeling of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
Are you going to do this every time we treat a calf with Zuprevo?
Absolutely.
Well, all right then.
Don't let BRD interfere with his performance. Treat it with Zuprevo and get him back to his home pen. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Horn flies cost cattle producers nearly $1 billion a year. They interrupt grazing, cause loss of blood, and impact your bottom line. By incorporating Alticid IGR into your supplement program, you can prevent the emergence of adult horn flies. Alticid IGR will significantly reduce stress on your cattle. For pennies a day, you can control the most costly parasite and increase your profitability. Contact your feed supplier to incorporate Alticid IGR today.
Join the team, the Beef Quality Assurance Team. Getting BQA certified shows you're committed to practices that produce the highest quality beef in the world. And by visiting BQA.org, you can take the online certification course at a time that fits your schedule and from the comfort of your home or office. You'll also find lots of helpful tips on improving animal health and animal handling practices. Get certified, BQA certified, because it's about doing the right thing. Visit BQA.org today and become a member of the BQA team.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new VetGun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The VetGun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML VetCap is used with the VetGun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. VetGun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
California, the high Sierras, the Pacific Blue. It's also a leading source for registered Angus seed stock. This fall, make California your first Angus choice. September and October offer more than 30 sales from some of the best breeders in America. And they've got quality Angus cattle that are performance and genomically tested and ready for work. To learn more about these breeders, visit CaliforniaAngus.com. California, your first Angus choice.
The GGP-LD, the most popular low-density genomic profile on the market, is now available for Angus. And at $45 per head, you can afford to test all your cattle. Plus, you can save even more time and money raising reputation seed stock. Put the GGP-LD profiler to work finding your best bull calves and the elite females that will brand your legacy. For more affordable accuracy, go GGP.
At 44 Farms, we believe work starts at sunup and doesn't stop until sundown. We believe in order to live off the land, you have to love and respect it. We believe that cattle aren't just raised, they're nurtured. And we believe when you do things right, with honesty and integrity, well, things like quality and consistency happen naturally. 44 Farm Steaks, responsibly raised all-natural beef.